Hello everyone, my name is Miss Foster and I will be your English language arts teacher this year. It is so nice to meet you. Welcome. English language arts is so significant to your academic trajectory because reading is the foundation of all other skills. I know all of us can reach our goals and I'm here to help you get where you want to be. No matter what our obstacles, we will grow and become better writers, readers, and thinkers. If you think that you're bad at English, wipe that thought out of your noggin. It's okay. We will work hard to get there. Not only can you be good, but you can be great. You can be amazing. In class, we will be learning new skills every day. We will miss you if you're not there because every one of you is imperative to our learning community. Whether we will be learning in person or digitally, we will be investigating many fascinating stories and narratives in class. We will be discussing, debating, creating, and composing literature. In doing this, we continue to improve and develop our critical thinking skills. These skills will not only help you in your academic career, but in your life to reflect, interpret, observe, explain, and analyze your experiences in life. I'm so excited to learn together. I'll be learning from you all, and you will be learning from me. We will all be learning from each other. So for the attendance policy, you're expected to attend all class sessions and look at your student handbook for specific details of what is considered an acceptable or unacceptable absence. I understand that some situations are beyond our control. Everyone gets sick or sometimes has an emergency. If you're an online scholar, you're expected to be present and engaged in all lessons as well. You must follow the bell schedule even if you're an online scholar. In order to be marked present, you must be present and actively engaged in participating in class. And you need to understand 3 things. Be present even if you feel like you're unprepared for class. If you are nervous because you didn't get something done, like homework or a project, don't let that stop you from coming to class. We can always work something out and find a solution. I will work with you and we will handle it. 2, class time is so valuable. The more you miss, the more you will fall behind and the harder it will be to catch up, the more anxious you will be. So no matter what, come to class and we'll figure it out later. 3, you are so valuable to our class. You bring knowledge and experiences to class that are exclusive to you. Your stories and your mind are valuable to class. When you aren't here, we can't work to our highest ability. So I need everyone here present in class during all class meetings. Here's my email policies. So I ask that you email me to send appropriate questions and that they're written professionally and they're 100% school related. I also have a 24-hour window of answering emails. And also remember, on weekends I might not be online. I'll definitely address things as quickly as I possibly can, but please try to keep emails within the weekdays just to get the fastest response. I'll try to answer emails when I can on the weekend, but sometimes I do not have the time on the weekend. So please, if you want to know something about an assignment that's due on Monday or Tuesday, and you're thinking about it over the weekend, try to be proactive in planning and ask me maybe Friday or Thursday. So our classroom rules are respect others, their property, and yourself. Be kind and have good faith in others. This means to trust that others have good intentions. That means that you trust me to have good intentions for your learning and to always be doing things that are best for you. You have faith in others around you, that they are doing the best that they can. They're doing the best that they can be. They're being kind. That's what having good faith means. You need to love yourself and know that school is a safe place for you. You need to be on time, on task, and prepared to learn every day. You must be present and not on your cell phones. Cell phones are prohibited in use in class except for when noted that they are allowed. All the discussions in our class must be civil and respectful. And I know that this is a difficult and it's a different time than maybe our school year without a pandemic, but just breathe and know that this can be stressful, but we're all in it together. We'll all be here to help one another. Everyone's stressed out, so just know it'll be okay. Let's just take our precautions and try to have some normalcy. All right, so this is our school dress code. You guys can, this is taken directly from your school's handbook on dress codes. So here are the acceptable tops and bottoms and items not allowed. That's just a quick glance at that. And here is a very important section, mask wearing procedures. So everyone needs to be wearing a mask, including myself. I'll be wearing a mask along with you guys. Unless you have a special exception where you're not able to be a mask. If you have a special exception, we would have already known by now, and it would be documented by school, and I would know. So that is something that I just want you to know. We're all wearing masks to protect one another in our school environment. So in some situations, masks, different kind of mask will be worn, but you can read that specified here. But in our classroom, we will be wearing face masks. You can also wear a face shield as well, but you must always have a mask. You can additionally wear a face shield, but you cannot just wear a face shield and not a mask. So here are the kind of face coverings that are acceptable. You guys will be given 5 masks from the school, and it is very important to, keep those in a safe place. And also, after 2 days of wearing a mask, you should make sure you wash it. You can wash it like regular clothes in the washer, because if you have a mask and it's dirty, it can create problems for you. So make sure that we are keeping our masks hygienic. You need to cover your nose and your mouth. You cannot have gaps. You are not permitted to have the masks that have valves or vents. Those have been proven to not be safe. So we have medical grade masks such as surgical face masks and N95s. They are not required. You do not need to have one of those. You can have a cloth face mask. There's all kinds of acceptable ones. So yes, we're following the CDC, the Center for Disease Control guidelines, and we have to keep evolving as they evolve. So I'll keep you guys updated and be a resource for you if you have any questions. You can have paper or disposable face masks, cloth face masks, neck gaiters. Those are like those ones that are, they go around your whole neck and your face, and you can pull them up and down. A lot of people think they're more comfortable. Or cloth apparel completely covering the nose and mouth. Unacceptable face masks include lace, mesh, crocheted, or other face mask coverings that are not solid materials, or the ones that have those valves or vents. Those are not acceptable face coverings. Also, you have to use the face covering again. If you have a face shield, you can wear that too, but you must also always have a mask. Also, if you have something offensively written on your mask, that will have a disciplinary action connected to it. Just like if on any other kind of clothing, if you would have something offensive, that would not be acceptable. All right, so here are exceptions. You guys can read that on your own time. We're going to talk about face covering breaks. So at some point, we will have a face covering break, which means we will pull down our mask at some periods of time when we are social distancing, just to give us a break. You are not allowed to do that alone. You must do that under supervision of me or another teacher, and they will direct you to do that. You cannot just take it off at your own discretion. All right, eating and drinking. So you do not need your face covering when you are actively eating and drinking. That means when you are at lunch or you at breakfast, if you are still eating your lunch or your breakfast, you can have your mask down. But the minute you are done, you must put your mask back on. It's very important for the health and safety of all of us. Face coverings are not required during strenuous physical activity, but social distancing of 6 feet is recommended in these situations. Then if you guys are in ensembles with wind instruments, there's guidelines there. There's all kinds of stuff here. Emergency circumstances. Face coverings are not required and may be removed if a person is experiencing a medical emergency, is unconscious, or incapacitated, or the person is unable to remove the face covering without assistance. And then when driving alone or indoors, face coverings are not required. So that means when you are alone in a classroom, which you guys probably would not be at any point, you do not have to have a covering. But as soon as a single other person enters the classroom, you must protect them and yourself by wearing your face mask. And if there is non-compliance, which means you do not listen to these, you will be re-educated upon how to wear them. After that occurs, if you do not comply to this, an administrator will be contacted and there will be disciplinary action. It is a health and safety concern. It's not a disciplinary matter, I'm sorry, but it's a health and safety concern. If the refusal continues, though, you might have to go to My PCS Online or Pinellas Virtual School. So just be aware of that if you don't feel like wearing a mask, if you want to stay in school with your friends, then you have to abide by these rules to keep everyone safe. So here's some of our processes and procedures for our classroom. I'm going to turn the screen this way for us for a second. So this talks about what we're going to do with greeting at the door and exiting. Basically, we need to have all kinds of sanitization processes. We need to have social distancing processes. You need to have a mask when you enter the classroom. And at the end of class, we're going to need to sanitize each desk before we leave so that when each new class comes in, they will have clean desks to sit at that will be sanitized. So that's important. And for digital students, you will have to log on to online class activities and follow the bell schedule. If you're not responsive and not engaged, you will not be marked present. So that is important. Remember, you can't just log on and then walk away from the computer. You must be actively listening to questions. You must be responding to questions. The chat will be monitored. There will be a lot of activities that will be monitored, so make sure that you're there. This next one is the door to do now. As soon as you guys get in the classroom, you are expected to put away your materials except for what is needed and work on your do now at a voice level 0, which means silent, every single day. You will also do the same thing online. You will get your materials ready and you will go do your do now. It will just be online rather than in class. So you're expected to turn in your do now every single day. And you can share out when we are finished. We'll have time to share out. All right. When we enter the classroom, there is also a procedure for that. You need to have your pencils at home, sit in your assigned seat, be present and ready to learn. And you need to also write down the assignments for today somewhere. Then you have to get started on your do now. Digital students will be doing the same exact thing, but the only difference is you will not be physically in class with us, but you will also need to start your do now. You will need to be away from distractions, and you will need to be present, and you will need to write down your assignments. So, sorry. Go. All right, so we do not need this. So, daily announcements. I'm sorry. Difficulty here. We do not need this. 1 second, guys. So for daily announcements and for exit tickets, let's talk about that. So there will be frequent formative assessment. Don't freak out when I say assessment. That just means that we're going to be measuring your knowledge with tickets at the end of class that we're going to be turning in. We'll also be using digital tools. Same thing for digital students. We'll be having the same exact content. Daily announcements, we have a process for that. They'll be written on the board or they'll be told to you. You need to record this information by yourself. That is expected of you. You can use Google Documents. These announcements will also be made digitally on slides or, said with word of mouth. We may use the Remind app as well as emails, but also for both students, in person or online, assignments will be posted on the Canvas platform. All right, attendance. So you guys will be called by name. You will raise your hand and wave at me. You will say present, even if you are online. You will also have to log in if you are in person on a web-based to verify that you have not experienced COVID-19 symptoms before school starts. You will need your digital device to do that. So if you're a digital student, remember you need to be actively participating to be marked present. Tardies and absences, there are school policies for both of these, and there's class policies too. You yourself are responsible for getting work that you missed on your absence. There will be online resources posted after every lesson for both classes. So you need to ask the instructor for what you missed. So you're to come to me and ask what you missed, and you are responsible for your own work. Here are some of the class attention signals that we will be using for digital and brick and mortar classroom. And by the way, guys, brick and mortar means in real life, like the people who will be physically present in class with me. Those are some of the things that we will be using. Getting out of your seat. So for brick and mortar, it's very inappropriate to get out of your seat unless told to, because it can spread COVID-19. Even if you're an asymptomatic carrier, we just want to limit movement. So you have to maintain social distancing guidelines whenever possible, and digital students are allowed to have technology breaks where you might change positions, you might stretch, move your legs, but you must continue to actively participate in class. So also, if you guys do not know yet, we will be using slant in class. This you guys probably know what this means, but I will explain it later in class. This just means you need to be sitting up, you need to be listening, asking and answering questions. We'll explain that later, okay? So getting supplies, there's a process for that too. We're not going to be able to share materials unless they are sanitized. So there is a process for that. You can read. Digital students, you're going to have materials ready and with you during the class period. Sharpening pencils. We're not allowed to share pencils. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm tired. Students, you have to hold up your pencil. If I approve, you can go sharpen, but you cannot touch the pencil sharpener. You will just insert your pencil. Using and handling equipment. There's all kinds of guidelines written right there that you can read. And using technology, there's a lot of things, but you need to remember personal use only for technology. You have to have sanitized technology. Be gentle because we only have a certain allotment of technology. You cannot loan your laptops and you should not borrow due to COVID-19. Keep them in a safe place and keep them charged and ready for class. That goes for both classes. Getting into group, here's some ideas of what we will be doing to get into group work. You really will not be able to do group work in a sense that you will be sitting next to your partners or your group, but we will have to do different things, as I have written here, to try to accommodate for group work in a new way. Working in groups, here's a little information on that, and independent work, note-taking, centers, lining up. I will dismiss you guys at the end of the class. We cannot leave late, and we still, while leaving, must follow social distancing guidelines. Moving around the classroom, we cannot do that because of COVID, unfortunately. We will not be permitted to have snacks and water in class because of COVID. You will be able to have access to that during lunch. Passing out assignments, I will have to pass back your assignments and papers on an individual basis as to not contaminate any documents. And we'll do a lot of digital turning in. Finishing work early, there will always be opportunities to do work after you finish. So just because you finish doesn't mean that you are done. When you ask questions, you either raise your hand at the appropriate time, or you're going to use the messenger and raise hand tool online. If you need extra help or you need help with anything, again, you're going to raise your hand, ask questions, email, message, any way there is fine. So we eventually will have maybe a fire, tornado, or lockdown alerts, and we're going to have to do that in class. If we are checking out materials, we can't be doing that this time because of COVID. Maybe later, but right now there's nothing there because we cannot. For organizing materials, you need to have your materials ready to go for class. Here's some homework info. You will be expected to do your homework, and we will have homework checks. Changing classes, you need to follow the guidelines. There will be certain arrows and directions that you will have to go in the hallway. You need to abide by those rules and always have your mask on. And dismissal, you will leave when the session is over, and I will dismiss you in person as well. And that is it for our syllabus. Please let me know if you have questions about anything else that you might be concerned about. Please shoot me an email, anything. So thank you guys very much, and that is the gist of our syllabus.